Hi, Taylor. Lance Lysowski from the Buffalo News. Can you just take me through the past 2 days? What's it been like to get to the arena, get acclimated with your new surroundings, meeting, some of your new teammates, and obviously, to cap it off, your first practice with the team?
Yeah, it's always exciting. I think no matter if you've been in the league one year, 5 years, 10 years, it's always fun the first day. It's always exciting to get out there with new teammates, new coaches, and to learn a new system. It's a lot to take at times, but I think the important thing is everyone's going through it together. The guys that were on the team last year have been off for a long time, and guys like myself that played in the bubble, we're on a new squad and we're excited to be here.
Hi, Taylor. Adam Benini, WGRZ. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
All right. I just make sure you can hear me. I guess, given like the shortened season, the relatively short training camp, the way this is all different due to the pandemic. I mean, you've been around. Obviously, you have the added challenge of joining a new team, but how much more difficult is it to prepare for regular season action that's coming up in a couple of weeks, the way this whole thing is happening?
Yeah, it's different. Ideally, you'd be playing exhibition games, and you'd have a chance to feel yourself in game action with a new team, with new coaches, with a new system. It's it is what it is. I think everyone's going through this at the same time. It's nice to be has that extra 3 days of training camp, so that's positive. But that's the life right now. That's the world. You have to adapt and make the best of it. And I think everyone showed up in good shape with a good attitude, and there's going to be a lot of challenges along the way. It's not going to be a smooth road, and I think this is just the start of that.
Thank you.
Hey, Taylor. Ted Goldberg from Spectrum News here. I know, obviously, you've changed teams a few times in your career, but obviously this is the first time that you've been at first practice with a team and new teammates in the middle of a pandemic. I know you kind of touched on it before, but just how different is it joining this locker room under this situation, and what have you done, if anything, different to try and help kind of acclimate yourself to a new environment like this?
Well, I was here a few days. I traveled here on Christmas Day and tried to get a few skates in before camp, so that this wasn't my first day skating here and skating with the guys. But it's been a challenge. I mean, ideally in a normal off season, if you're a new guy, you come to camp, 2-3 weeks ahead of time, and by the time camp starts, you feel like one of the guys right away. This year is a bit different, but like I said, it's just a challenge. I think everyone's going through something different. This year is going to be full of that, and I think you come into things with as positive attitude as you can, and take the bumps along the way the best that you can. And I'm excited to be here. There's a lot of skill. I think you see on the ice right away, how much skill there is, how much speed that we have as a group, and that's a really good thing for me to see coming in, and obviously to see that in person is awesome.
Hey, Taylor, John Worrell with the Associated Press. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And I'm looking at a bigger perspective from an NHL perspective, and you getting you changing teams. I mean, just the amount of players, high profile players who have changed teams this offseason. Most recently Zdeno going to Washington, and Alex Pietrangelo now in Vegas. Is it more? Do you find it more unusual this offseason as you look at these changes? I mean, even Eric Stahl now in Buffalo. What do you make of some of these offseason changes that have happened to some high-profile players?
Yeah, I think that's I don't know if that's a byproduct of what we're going through with all the COVID stuff, or if it's just that happens every offseason. I'm not really sure, but there's still a lot of really good hockey players without jobs right now too, which is a byproduct of that and the situation that we're in. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the division that we're in, the fact that we just play every team 8 times, we don't even change time zones. it's a strange year, and there's going to be a lot of guys that are on new teams that really don't have a ton of time to get used to everything. You know, I think I probably have a leg up on most guys that are on new teams with the familiarity that I have with Ralph, and not only Ralph, but Steve Smith, who coaches the D and the penalty kill, and Miles Fee, who's our video coordinator. I had those guys in Edmonton, and to see those guys around the rink is an added bonus when you're coming to a new team, to see familiar faces. So it's a change. You know, I knew that coming in. I had a lot of time to prepare for it. You know, you're never going to start a training camp on January 1st again. So just trying to put a smile on my face and just go through it.
Hey Taylor, Heather Prusak here with the CBS station here in Buffalo. Good to see you. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great holiday season. I know you just kind of touched on the skill that you see from this group, but can you expand on that? Just, you know, what some of your first impressions are of this team and of this group we got on the ice. And, you know, I know obviously Jack wasn't out there, but just what are your impressions of this group as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that coming in, that it was a team that I think is poised to take a step. A team that has some really good options offensively. I think on the back end as well, you see Rasmus, you know, the player that he is after just 2 years in the league. You know, being able to play on a line with Victor today was great. He's a guy that had a great first year. You can see the skill, you can see the shot. And then I think just the way that Ralph wants us to play, with pace offensively, a team that really attacks, and when we don't have the puck, a team that needs to get the puck back as quickly as possible and play to our strengths. And, you know, that's a big reason why I wanted to come here was I saw that, you know, I saw that building, and I saw that firsthand today.
Hey Taylor, John Vogel with The Athletic. Happy New Year. As you mentioned, everyone's excited to be here, but sitting in the stands listening, you could hear Jeff Skinner nonstop, just cheering everything. You've skated with him, obviously, leading up to this. Just how ready does he seem to you? Yeah,
he's a guy that he prepares very well. He takes a lot of pride in his preparation and how hard he works. Season and I train together for we've had the same trainer now for 4 off seasons, and I see the dedication that he has and the amount of, you know, joy that he has playing hockey. So it was great to see him out here in Sabres colors, and you know, I know that he might have not had the year that he wanted to last year, but you can see the skill that he has, and you know, how streaky of a goal scorer, how explosive he can be when he's on, and he's going to get back to that, I'm sure of it.
All right. Hi, Taylor. It's Bill Hobby with the Times Herald. I realize it's one day, but maybe you've been around him a couple more days. What are your first impressions of Rasmus Dahlin? Just seeing him up close, maybe chatting with him a bit. What have you learned about him in just a day, you know, a couple of days, I guess?
Yeah, it's the first time I've been on the ice with him. I mean, I think he makes it look pretty effortless out there. Such a big guy that can skate that well and can move that well is pretty cool to watch. That's you know, I made a comment to someone in line. It must be a requirement as a Swedish hockey player to be able to move so well out there and to be, you know, to open your hips up so well and be so agile. So it's pretty cool to watch. He's you know, I think he's a guy that, you know, once you see the power play and 5-on-5 and you know, 4-on-4, 3-on-3 situations, what he can do with the puck, he's basically a fourth forward out there. So it's going to be really fun to see him, you know, take another step and hopefully cement himself in that upper echelon of defensemen in this league.
Hey Taylor, it's Brayton Wilson for WGR Sports Radio 550 here in Buffalo. Happy New Year to you, and hope you had a great holiday season. I know you've been skating a lot during the off time and leading up to this period, but how did it feel to get back onto the ice today, and also just to get things going? Because it seemed like as practice went on, the intensity picked up a little bit, and guys were for a little more to the net. I saw you go to the net a couple times. One of them a little hard, maybe in particular, but how did it feel just to kind of get your legs back underneath you and get back into the hardcore action of practice?
Yeah, it's it's a step. When you're skating in the off season, it's pretty hard to replicate training camp, and to produce those battle situations, to go as hard as you're going to go in training camp. And then I think during training camp, it's hard to replicate game situations, the way that the game's going to play out, and how hard the games can be, and the way that you have to play in those situations. So today's a really good step towards that game situation. And Ralph talked to us, we have 3 practices and then a scrimmage day off, 3 practices, scrimmage day off, and really good lead up to a game like situation after a couple practices. So I thought everyone was sharp. I thought there was a lot of energy out there, and that's a really big thing that you want to see after that much time off.
Hey, Taylor, Tom Galletti with NHL.com. There was a lot of excitement about you and Jack playing together. Unfortunately, you couldn't practice today. Was there a little disappointment there? And how long do you think it would take when he gets back for you to guys kind of build a chemistry? It's not a really long camp. Is there enough opportunity there for you guys to kind of build that chemistry?
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Obviously, I'd love to see him out here, but he's got to get healthy. He's got to get, ready to come back and be comfortable playing the way that he wants to play. But like I said, there's a lot of players out there. It's not just Jack that I'm going to be playing with this year. There's 5 guys on the ice, and who knows what the line's going to be in game 5 or game 10. So it's important to play with different guys and to see how they play, and to see where they want passes and how they shoot and how they move out there. So obviously you'd love to see him out there. He's the captain of this team, and he'll be out here pretty soon.
Hey, Taylor, Jordan Lumber here with Sabres.com. After all these years, and what kind of tone did he try to set?
Yeah, it's funny. It's the drills that we were doing today, I recognized them. I didn't quite remember how to do them, or they weren't second nature to me. But a lot of the philosophies are the exact same. Our meetings are fast. Our meetings are to the point, and that's how our practices are as well. They're filled with pace. They're filled with quickness and high quality. I think he's a big quality over quantity guy, and I think that's a great trait that you want to have in a coach, and especially a coach that we're on a new team, to have that. It's to the point. There's not a lot of gray areas with Ralph, and I think that's a great thing.
Thanks a lot. Happy New Year.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Taylor.
Thank you.